Hello and welcome to the Legends of the Tabletop. Wow, Legends of the Tabletop.
Legends of the Tabletop. You just
Legends of the
just
Tabletop.
added a different word. Cool.
Right?
I don't know what's happening. I know that the Eagles are in the Super Bowl again, so that's super cool. But I'm gonna kick it over to Jesse, let him give us a recap, and yeah, that's it. I don't know. We're playing a game.
It's runners. We're playing games.
We're kicking butt and taking names.
Woo!
Yes.
Unlike whoever the Eagles played today, I follow football.
The 49ers, they killed
That's it. Yeah.
Broke his arm. And concussed the other quarterback. Yay, sports ball.
I'm sure he deserved it.
I'm gonna mute again.
All right. So last time, you guys took out a couple of runners who were trying to take you guys out. You collected some gear, realized though that Smokey was running pretty low on power, had pretty much no reserve left, so you didn't really have time to stick around and salvage the, take any real, really dig in and part these suits or look for anything useful. Huxley, though, did grab the railgun that one of the runners was using, while Smokey basically ripped the camera unit out of the other guy's helmet. You also did, I think it was actually Zuchy that recognized some of the symbols that were on the guy's armor, and so you noticed that they were part of another runner squad. So, and I think you recognize one of the guys as a runner called Jansen Wells, and that they run kind of with a little squad. Why they were after you, you don't know. Both of them one of them's definitely dead now. The other one's probably on his way, since you've removed his helmet for a significant period of time in the burn. But regardless, you eventually made your way to the town and dropped off the coal that you were sent here to deliver. They set you up with a room where you could store your suits. You found where you were going to be bunking for the night, and then decided to go get some grub. And we'll pick up kind of mid to end meal wherever you want to. So you can figure out exactly what you're going to be doing for the rest of your time in town.
So I think we said so we dropped all of our stuff off, and then we got the fobs. Yep. We chatted for a bit, and then we said we were going to go out to eat. So I think we haven't gone and we dropped the coal off, but we haven't picked up the payment for that, right? I don't think we've done that yet.
No, they said, it's basically put into your account.
Okay, so we don't have to go sign anything or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you already took care of that by scanning. They asked for your number for your calls and all that kind of stuff. So, presumably they will just be dropping it into your account.
Okay, cool. I'm going to. So I'm guessing the three of us are just kind of sitting there eating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're in your regular outfits.
I'm gonna
hanging out, eating some slightly below average food.
Not to cross game, so I'm thinking it looks like the food like in Aliens, right? It's just a plate with some liquid stuff in it. And
yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
pushing around with a spoon.
There's some chunks of stuff too.
Some mystery chunks.
Just don't look so close.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna, I'm not that I'm making it obvious, right? But I'll just, while I'm eating, I'll just, keep an eye on Huxley to see how he's doing, right? To see if if he's still a bit shaken or if he's drawn in on himself, or because we had the talk before saying, the only reason we're here is because of what you did, and Zuchy said it. It's rough out there. You got to do what you got to do. We tried to give Huxley, the big up that he helped us. He pretty much saved us. So to draw him out a bit to make sure he doesn't go in on himself. So I'm so Smokey will just keep an eye on him to make sure he's not super moody or more than it looks like he's just like super distracted in on himself.
Right.
I mean, he is kind of pushing the protein paste around on the plate a little bit, one because it's gross, and also like, I just murdered somebody a couple hours ago.
So the stuff we can check for, our accounts and all that, is that built into the suits, or do we have something on ourselves? Like a,
No, you probably have, you probably have a cell phone, like some kind of smart device that you can check that kind of stuff on.
Yeah, I'm just thinking we've got our Apple Watches on us or whatever.
Right. Yeah. You'll have something,
or it's actually in our arm, and you just push a button. So, so Smokey will say to Huxley, did you check and see if you got all the stuff from our delivery? Did it all go into your account? I'm just trying to distract them.
No, yeah, like he like looks up from the plate. No, I could check it now, and he, produces the device, and taps out a couple of keys to look to see, whether or not they've made a full accounting of our load of coal, and see if they've processed payment, essentially, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll say the organization provides you with, an app to log into and all that kind of stuff. And so when you do, it says, it has the current job listing that you're doing. It says delivery, from Ingram to Green Hills. Then it says complete, payment pending. So it says 3 rep with a blinking blue box next to it that says click here.
I look at the device and I say, to these two guys, it says, so it's pending still. I think I have to click here. It's 3 rep. Is that what they told us? Was it 3 rep? I don't remember what they said. Was it more than that supposed to be?
Smokey will hold up his drink, and I'm thinking it's it's the those plasticky futuristic cups, but it has like some kind of weird blue liquid in it. Nothing nothing could just be. So he'll hold up his cup and say, "Well, 3 rep or not, pending or not, we're all here. We finished our first job, so." I'd say we haven't done half bad, so he'll hold up his drink for like a toast and, kind of chink glasses with Huxley and then Zuchy to, and then he'll slug back whatever he's drinking. Futuristic IPA or blue water or whatever. Here's to a job well done. I'm trying to look back to see. I don't think we did give a number for it, Jesse, did we?
I was just looking at my notes. I didn't see anything. I actually don't remember.
I thought it was 3.
Okay.
So
I mean, that's fine. It doesn't. Yeah, whatever. Okay, well, I'll just I'll click the button. Then we don't have to talk to anybody or do anything. We just clicks the button and waits to see what happens.
And when you do, it brings up another screen, a little little pop-up that has both Huxley, Smokey, and Zuchy listed, and it's requesting how the payment should be divided.
Oh, it says it says how does this? So I guess we each just get one then. Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, go ahead and click the button. As I said, we made it through. We're here. It's our first job. I don't think we're going to be able to retire after our first job. So as long as they're not taking it away from us, then as long as they're giving it to us, I'd say that's for me, that's we're ahead of the game.
Okay. And, he puts it all in, splits it up between us.
All right. And yeah, at that point, you get like a little bit of a bling, bling, bling.
All three
and
of them.
the screen then minimizes, and you now see like the whole thing goes green and says complete.
Okay. Huxley looks over at the other two, like, really kind of more concerned now, and says, maybe you guys should like they have to have a doctor, right? Like, I mean, like if something was like, I could help kind of, right? But like you guys took quite a bit of radiation. Maybe, I don't know if you want to, spend all of your rep already, but you guys might want some like blue caps or something before we leave, because that's how do you feel?
So Smokey will reach into, I'm guessing these are like cargo, so there's like a whole bunch of pockets down the side. So he'll reach into one of his pockets and pull out a blue cap. He'll hold up his glass with his other hand, and his hand's a bit shaky. So he'll go ahead and flick the blue cap up in the air like you're tossing a coin into his mouth, and then slug back a drink. So that'll be my blue cap I had on me is now gone.
Oh, nice. There you go.
You don't have another one of those to share?
Hold on, let me check, and I'll root around in my pocket, and I'll pull out a pack of cigarettes, my lighter, and my little demolition kit, and say, no, that's all I got.
You don't have to put on a show just to like make me feel better. If you don't have one, you don't have one.
And I'll smile
real quick.
I'll smile at Zuchy.
Kevin, real quick, have Smokey give me a DL3 health roll.
Okay. And so should we explain this since this campaign is still sort of a play test? So the blue caps,
yes, yeah. I want to see. I just want real quick. Want to see what his roll was, and then we'll go.
That is a 3 and a 2.
A 3. That 3 makes it. Okay.
I made sure I put down what the difficulty level was when I bought one. So.
There you go. So yeah, so a blue cap is basically like a horse pill that the anyone, but generally runners can take, that increases their likelihood of fighting off radiation poisoning. So when you take one, as long as you pass the health check, you are able to remove 1 gray of radiation damage.
But he didn't actually beat the health check. You have to beat a 30, right?
Well, he got a,
Ty goes the runner.
Right.
Yes, but something negative, right? So if I hit it exactly,
it's a yes, but. And when we're going straight, I figure when we're doing checks like that, like it's kind of a yes or no style thing. So
you lose a grade, but you're really exhausted.
Yes. Right. So yeah, yes, you do. Like you did hit it, so it did. It's successful, but you kind of feel a little sick and tired afterwards.
And all of a sudden, Smokey has a runny nose, so he's constantly blowing his nose. Okay, so for that, so it'll remove 1, and I think we said I had 6.
So that saves you from making the roll then, or
Right,
checking a stat for now. Anyway,
Yeah, for now, yeah. Okay,
So because I forget what's the damage or the radiation damage that you have to get to before you start losing skills or whatever.
I actually believe it is 6.
I think it's 6.
Yeah.
And then
Let
you
me
pick
scroll
a stat.
through my very poorly set up first draft of this book, where I didn't put radiation in the spot it should be.
I thought it was 6. So then, so I dropped back down to 5.
There
then,
it is.
As Zuchy was saying, I'm a bit worn out
6.
and got the runny nose and stuff, but I have dropped it back down to 5. And to John's point then is I don't have to roll against any of my stats now.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep. So when you do take 6, basically it generates a short-term effect. So you choose one of your stats.
Yeah.
And you just take a -1 to rolls on that until you can drop yourself down below.
And what we did on that was I had a -1 to my psyche when we were trying to get.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah.
So then if I dropped it back down to 5, then I can take that -1 away.
Yep, you can.
Okay, cool. So once it hits 6, that's when the negatives start.
Correct.
So
Cool.
then does it stack then if you get to like -12? Does...
Yeah. So for every 6 you tick 1 stat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And once you've filled up all 6 stats, at that point you gain a long-term effect.
Okay.
Which can be anything from a permanent negative. It can be losing a limb. It can be a ton of different, a few different things. Yeah.
Weird mutations.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh, sweet. I want a little guy growing out of my right arm. No.
Quado.
Yes. Okay, so that's why I have a -1 to might. Because I have
There we go. Yeah.
I have 7 radiation damage right
Yep.
now.
So one thing we will say is, depending on how long you want to spend in Green Hills, I guess since we're on the subject of radiation damage and healing and all that kind of stuff, so you can naturally heal radiation damage over time. It just takes a while. So basically, for each week that you go without exposure, you have the potential to remove a point of radiation damage. So for every week, you make a DL4 health check. If you're successful, then your radiation level's lower. So I'm not sure you guys want to spend a month and a half in Green Hills just hanging out.
We live here now.
And this is our home.
Game over.
But yeah, I mean, the whole point of this is that you're always gonna have some radiation. Like chances are, if you do enough runs, you will eventually get a long-term, some long-term damage. It's an inevitability, basically. It's not an if, it's a when, right?
Yeah.
So sorry, I should read up more before I come to these sessions, but do they have anyone that could help heal? Because I would want to get to at least 5 because I don't want to be dragging ass here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, so these things are available. So there's the blue caps that give you a boost to, just like Smokey just did. You can buy blue caps that will give you the potential to heal damage. There are, certain other medicines like chellant injectors that you can get that will just automatically remove damage. If you're super wealthy, then you can take a bath in an iosat tank, which literally just every hour heals radiation damage for you. But I mean, that's kind of like buku bucks right there.
Yeah.
So there are things that you can do.
Okay.
For you guys,
go ahead.
A blue cap is 1 rep. You can get a meth cap, or not the KI powder, which just gives you a bonus to healing the damage. So if you happen to wait a week, you can take one of those and it'll give you a bonus to your roll next time. The injectors are 2, so if you pool your money together, then you can get an injector that just automatically heals that 1 point of damage. So
okay. Ugh. Well, at this point, I don't even know if it's worth it, because if I can only afford 1, and I could basically try to talk the other guys into giving me another blue cap so I can get down to 5, but I don't think Zuchy's the kind of person that tries to mooch off of other people. So I think probably what he'll end up doing is he'll probably end up just buying if he can find somebody that's selling a blue cap, he'll just spend his rep to get the 1 and just call it good.
Does Huxley have anything though?
I don't have I have a regular medical kit, but I don't have
over and above.
Yeah, I don't have anything like that. But I mean, Huxley would give you the rep to get you down, but really we have to do that in character. I mean, if you don't think that Zuchy would ask, then I guess it doesn't matter. But
I think one of my life shapers is trying to protect everyone with me and always looking out for the crew. So how is the radiation damage affecting Zuchy? Is it visible? Not the quad or anything, but are you shaky? Are you sleepy? That kind of thing.
Yeah, let's just say usually you kind of see is he's kind of walking with a strut almost, but now you see his arms are kind of down to his side. He's just kind of it's like when you were just starting to get back from being sick. It's like you're just kind of walking around in a haze. So it's you can tell he's ready for a fight if he needs to be, but he's not going to be as good as if he were at full health.
Okay. Smokey's gonna finish up eating and drinking, and he's going to look over to the 2 guys and say, I'm gonna go hit the bathroom, maybe jump and get a quick shower. I'll meet you guys back up at the barracks, unless you guys want to go mooch around anywhere else. I think I may head back and rest up for a bit. But when you guys get back, maybe we can talk about, where we want to go next, what we want to do, what the plans are.
Well, I mean, should we try to get some to go back? I mean, we have to go back anyway. So if somebody needs us to take something, then at least we could make a little bit of rep.
I don't have a problem with that. That sounds like a good idea. So if Zuchy's up for another contract heading back, I'm all up for that.
Yeah, why not? We're already on the way back, so if it's nothing too sketchy, I'm up for it.
Okay, so once you guys say that, I'm gonna go put my tray over on the thing. I'm assuming there's one of those slidey things, that you put your tray on and it takes it into the kitchen.
Yeah.
But I'll look over to Huxley and say, I got to go take care of some business. Go get a shower, get scrubbed up. Why don't you guys go and talk to them, see if there's any contracts open, any jobs that we could do, and then you can fill me in once you get back up to the barracks. And I'll kind of wink at Huxley. I'm trying to give Huxley something to do to distract himself, so I'll give him a wink, saying, go chat him up, see if they got anything for us.
Oh, okay. Sure. We'll see if we can find somebody.
I'll see you guys in a little bit. When you guys are done, I'll meet you back up with the bunks.
Are you okay with that, Mr. Zuchy? Do you feel like walking around?
Well, my legs are working, so I guess I could.
Like he starts just like kind of looking around. Is there like a "you are here" kind of map in this place, or are we pretty much? Is there anybody in here with us? Like, what is our situation like?
Oh yeah, there's a handful of other runners hanging out in here. This is kind of like the free meal center for the runners. So anybody who either is quick in and out or doesn't feel like spending money in the town, all the runners can just come here and hang out. So that's, you see generally what's happening.
Okay. I don't know. Should we ask any of those guys? Because they might also be but they would be going somewhere else. So I guess it wouldn't really matter too much, right? Because they're not going where we're going, I don't think. And then he looks a little harder to see if anybody looks familiar. If no one looks familiar, or any of the if nobody stands out or is wearing anything that would be like identifiable with our
right
place. So, well, maybe we should ask. I mean, because they might know who to talk to like who like runs the place.
Yeah, worth a shot. I mean, we don't know squats. We might as well find somebody that does.
Okay, and like he just gets up from the table. He waits for Zuchy to come along, but
oh damn
like,
it! I was literally gonna let you just kind of go and like do it, and like he was just gonna sit there and see what happened. But since he looks back, he's like, okay, fine. He just like, he actually really doesn't want to talk to anybody right now, but he's like, okay, fine. He'll do it. So he gets up with Huxley or whatever, and he walks.
I think we just approach like a pair of unassuming people, like the least rough looking people, right? Because he's
right.
Like looks at one guy, he's like, oh, I don't want to look like that guy. That guy's
right.
Scary. They just look for
that guy only has one eye. That guy has 3 eyes.
Yeah, look for somebody who seems approachable.
Right. Yeah, there's 2 runners that are, in kind of like jogger suits. One of them darker skinned, hair kind of slicked back. The other one, blonde hair, kind of pockmarked face. Probably makes him look a lot younger than he actually is. Like that, severe acne that kind of left pockmarks all over. They look pretty fresh faced though, similar to you, in the fact that, they don't seem to be too battle tested. They don't have scars all over them. They look generally in good health. So
I think Huxley walks within like 2 feet, 3 feet or whatever, and just kind of like holds a hand up. He's like, hey, hi. So this is the first time that we've been here. Do you know who to talk to about stuff?
Oh,
you just couldn't.
And the one with the dark slick backed hair kind of puts his spoon down and goes, "What kind of stuff are you looking for?"
Zuchy kind of puts his hand on Huxley and he says, "Well, my fine friend over here was wondering if there's who we could talk to find any other jobs here, because we're heading back to our spot here and we're looking to see if anybody needed any delivering or anything like that. I thought, we thought, me and my compatriot over here, Hux, that you two lovely gentlemen might know exactly who we could talk to so we could just do another, good delivery, just like you fine folks have been doing."
And they kind of like look at each other a little bit, and then just head to control. Any message that you need, you can any missions that you want, you can pick up down there usually.
Yeah, control.
So you can check in with Pam. If she's there, she's the one that manages that place.
Oh, that sounds great. We appreciate that. Now, as far as the directions of where this control might be, sorry, we're fairly new. We just got here. We just delivered some coal for these fine folks, and we don't really know where we're going, if you don't mind.
Is this your first time in Green Hills?
It is.
All right. I'm sorry. All right. You know what? Easiest thing, rather than me trying to give you directions, head on, and he points to the opposite side of the cafeteria. He said, "There's a monitor over there. You can go ahead, get the directions there." And he kind of sees like on your wrist, you have your watch. He's like, "You can probably, if you have the account, you can sync up there, and it should give you, it should kind of give you the directions." So
that sounds wonderful.
Isn't Pam the woman who checked us in?
Was it?
He just pipes up. I think so. That sounds familiar, but
did you wait? Have you made a delivery?
We brought coal.
You came. So you came in. So you saw the warehouse and everything, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Pam's down there. She's running control down in the warehouse.
Like Huxley just turns around and looks at Zuchy like, see, we did it.
Was that the younger lady that we saw when we first came in?
When we came in so they let us through, they blew us down.
Yeah.
Clean the suits, and then we came through and processed us. We dropped off the coal, and there was a woman who was there that was like, "Oh, you're so-and-so, drop your shit off over there, blah, 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 whatever."
Gotcha.
Like, here's your stuff. You can go upstairs.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm getting this place stuck with the other place we were at. So that's my fault. I apologize. Okay. That Pam. Oh, I remember now. I'm sorry. You know what? I had a little bit of radiation poison. It's kind of affected me a little bit. So apologies.
We should really talk to somebody about that. You should probably get some treatment before we go back.
Well, I would love to, but I just used my rep for that blue pill, and I don't know how else I don't think anybody's gonna give it anything for free.
No, if you need another, I'll give you my rep. I don't want you to be sick.
No, I wouldn't want to impose.
Well, I mean, if you're sick, then you need it. Then I'll give it to you. It's fine. We'll get something on the way back.
Usually, Zuchy would like fight this, but he's so tired. He's just kind of like, "Okay, I'll take it." He says, "Okay." He's like, "But I'm gonna have to owe you one. I don't take gifts, so I will owe you a rep."
I mean, Miss Joanna says that we have to help everybody when we can. It's fine.
Well, that Miss Joanna sounds like a very, very kind human being.
She's really nice.
Well, you'll have to introduce me to her one time.
She'd love it.
All right. Well, I think I think we have what we need. Thank you, gentlemen, again for all your help. I really appreciate it. Me and my fine young friend are gonna see if we can find some good job to bring on home.
And you know what? Good luck making it. And you know what? If you find yourself back in Green Hills, you know, maybe we'll catch you around again.
I hope so. And happy running if you do any.
Safe travels. Just cut like waves.
All right. So yeah, if you, oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, I assume we know where we're going then because we came in that way. So
yeah, you can generally stumble your way back there. So
yeah.
Meanwhile, what's Smokey? Kevin, is there anything that you want to do, or are you just kind of hanging around the town?
Well, so I was gonna go. I think, did we get all scrubbed down on all that stuff already, right? When we came in?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'll just go put my trays, put all that in. Then I'll go. I'm assuming there's like a med center, whatever centralized place. So I will go, and I will actually go buy a blue cap. So we'll see who's the first one that gets it to Zuchy.
You can, yeah. So when you go, it's actually almost like a medicine vending machine.
Okay.
Like you go and there's basically like this big grid of stuff.
It's like when you go to Japan, you can buy anything in the vending machine, right?
Exactly. Yep. So it's basically like a big wall that just has a bunch of listings of all the different things that you can buy there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, all you have to do is like press the button that you want, scan your phone or your watch or whatever you have. They'll transfer the rep and it pops it right out for you.
Okay, so the reason Smokey's going to do this is because of that Life Shaper. So he will go buy one. He doesn't, he's not really caring about banking rep and all that kind of stuff. So he did use one on himself. Zuchy did look a little bit shaky on his feet, so he will buy one. But I guess it depends if whether Huxley gets him one first or I do. So, but I'll go ahead.
I think I probably just transferred my credit over to him, to Zuchy.
Okay.
Right. Because we're in the cafeteria, right? But he was like, oh, if you need it, boop, 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 and just, transfers it over.
Okay. That's fine. And I'll play it however, whenever you guys get back, I'll figure out. But yeah, so I'll replace the one I used on myself. I'll slip that back in my pocket, and then I will just head back up to, where the barracks was, where we had our stuff stashed.
Yeah.
They said, Smokey just wanted Huxley to go out and do some chatting and, kind of distract himself and pull himself out, doing some other stuff, talking to some other people. So he wasn't thinking back too much on, what happened. So I'll just
the murder.
I keep telling him he saved our lives. I don't want to keep playing up they actually killed someone part. But
self-defense.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's and so yeah, so I'll just head back and I'll just I'll leisurely pace, I'll just walk back up to where we were.
Sounds good. All right. So you're kind of hanging out, leisurely walking yourself around the compound. And yeah, you notice too that it's generally it's a pretty nice place. You can look out and there's plenty of windows and everything, and Green Hills. At this point it's pretty chilly right now. It's winter. But there's like a little bit of snow on the ground. It's not too bad. But plenty of trees everywhere, plenty of grass. There's a handful of people walking around outside that are kind of like bundled up, trying to make it from one place to another that you can see walking around. And it's not pristine, but they're getting by. And in general, it looks like overall a pretty well organized place.
Is this to Smokey
Huxley, to Smokey.
Okay.
Yeah. So Huxley and Zuchy, you guys make your way back to the warehouse. And yeah, sure enough, sitting at the desk at the beginning of the warehouse is Pam. She's sitting there with she has kind of like a visor on now, and she has her tablet out, and she's just constantly going over information and generally seems to be kind of the control of the warehouse. So
nobody's around her. She's just kind of zoned in doing her thing.
All by herself.
I think Huxley just says, should we bother her right now?
I don't think you're going to be bothering her. I think that's her job is just kind of run the show. So I don't think we're bothering her.
Oh, okay. So like he cautiously walks up and then is like, hello?
She kind of is like half facing you. She's in her chair, and she turns to you, puts her tablet on the table, and says, "Can I help you?"
Maybe. So we came in just like a little while ago. We brought the coal, and then we went up to get some food. So when we were wondering if when we go back, is there anything that needs to go back to? We're not really sure how this. Like, this is the first time we've come through here.
Where are you from?
Fuck, what's the name of our thing? I don't remember.
Ingram, right?
Ingram?
Yes. Yeah.
We came in from Ingram.
And she just like shakes her head.
Huxley is oblivious.
Zuchy is standing right behind him and like staring her in the eyes and smiling wide, like, here you go. You have to deal with this now.
Either directly before you disembark or at any point before that, you can check in to either myself or anyone who is manning control, and you can check for any jobs that are available. You can take any number of them that you feel you are equipped to handle. If there is one that takes you back to Ingram, and she actually kind of looks up into her visor real quick, and she said, it looks like there is one available from Green Hills to Ingram. There's another one to Ingram. However, it's from a different null zone. I don't know if you want to travel to that zone and then take that job or not. I also can't guarantee that it'll still be there by the time you get there.
Oh, well, I mean, we have to talk to Mr. Smokey, but Mr. Zuchy, should we take the one that goes back? Can you hold it for us? Can we just bid on it now?
If you want to take it, then you can take it.
I just turn to look at Zuchy.
Yeah, and Zuchy steps in and says, we'll take the one strictly back to Ingram.
There's a 12-hour departure time. So once you take the job, you have 12 hours. If you don't depart by then, the job will go back up in listing.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Pam, for all that you do.
And she just kind of gives you a nod and then turns. And then she turns back to you and goes, What are your names?
I'm Huxley.
Huxley?
I'm
last name?
Peterson.
And she looks over at Zuchy and she's like,
sorry, I said it already. It's got mixed and everything.
No, she asked for the last name.
Yeah. She says, And he says, "Do." Like DU.
Okay.
And turns to look, and he's like, "I didn't know you had a last name."
I didn't either. That's why I asked.
Damn it! I should have kept it a secret. Sorry, it's just Zuchy or Zuchy. I don't even know what my name is anymore. Damn radiation poison.
Yeah, so she then pulls up her tablet and kind of scrolls through a little bit and says, okay, you have been assigned.
So we just come back down here then and grab whatever?
Yes, once you're ready to leave, come here, you will receive the payload, and then at that point, delivery is yours.
Oh, like he looks at Zuchy. What is it? What do we have to take back? I guess we probably should have asked.
Are you asking her or Zuchy?
Yeah. This is all in character. Well, he looks to Zuchy like, fuck, right? Like we should have.
Yeah. And literally, when Huxley looks at Zuchy, he's literally just like, "This should be your thing," but he's just kind of helping out. Like he's trying to get him to like be more assertive. So like when he's like, "Oh, we should ask, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, but you never did." But
it's kind of late now.
Yeah.
And she then looks into, is there anything else I can help you with?
What are we supposed to take back with us? We probably should have asked, and I didn't ask, but then I thought about it.
And she picks the tablet up again, scrolls. It appears as though you will be taking 2 crates of steel beaming.
Oh, okay. Like he just shrugs.
Okay,
that's it, I guess. Are our suits visible in their charging station still?
If you go back up to the room, yeah.
Oh, they're up in the room.
That was a. So you actually took your suits up to like the small storage room that they gave you.
Gotcha. Okay, I didn't know if they were down here. I couldn't remember.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. We should probably go tell Mr. Smokey.
Did you put him on the manifest?
Oh, so we have another person. His name is Mr. Smokey.
MacManus is
the first name or a last name?
It's Smokey MacManus. Smokey. I'm sorry, my young friend. I'm just trying to help him out. We're a little new. He's maybe a little more newer to life than we are, but I'm just trying to help him out. So my apologies. We'll get out of your hair. Smokey MacManus, we will see you really soon. Appreciate it.
I'm 20, you know.
He kind of looks at you like, does that really matter? And he just kind of starts wandering away.
It's like middle age for a runner, though. So
I'm football old.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So yeah, where are Hux and Zuchy heading back to? Are you going back to the room or to the barracks or?
I guess as we're walking and talking, Huxley just says, we should find the doctor so you can get your blue caps, right? So that has some time to worry. I mean, that gives you 12 hours or so to feel better.
I guess it does. But we probably shouldn't use the whole 12 hours. Maybe we use, a decent amount up, but you know, we want to give us a few hours, maybe 10 hours, just so we don't miss it on accident.
Okay, I mean, I could set an alarm, and he pulls out his phone, and he.
Oh yeah, I forgot
set an
alarms are
alarm.
a thing in this world. Yeah, we suppose we could do that.
I think that'll be. I think it'll be okay. You guys should really rest. I mean, I feel okay. We probably like take a power nap.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, I'm sure with all that steel beaming, we're probably going to need all the energy we can muster.
Yeah. Like if there's anybody randomly walking by, like Huxley then would just walk up and be like, "Where's the doctor?"
And there's a middle-aged woman, doesn't look like a runner, but she, it's clear she's walking around with like a PDA, and she's got kind of like a mechanic's jumpsuit on, and she says, if you head third floor, in the B wing, won't be able to just look for the signs. You won't be able to miss it.
Thank you. I assume like she barely even slows down, right? She's just
exactly. She slowed down slightly to answer you, but was like yelling over her shoulder towards the end.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I assume if Zuchy follows, then we'll go try to find the doctor. Or
sure.
the medical building or whatever turns out to be a pill dispensary.
Right. And we'll say, you go up to the it kind of ramps up a little bit. So there's no elevator, but you can take like kind of like a ramping staircase up. And about halfway up, you actually see Smokey coming in the opposite direction.
Oh, hey, Mr. Smokey. We got a job.
Good. And then I'll look, I'll reach into my pocket and I'll grab the blue cap and I'll toss it over to Zuchy and say, I found this on my way walking around, so I figured you might need it.
Sorry, I didn't. It looked like John was gonna speak, and then he didn't. So, and so Zuchy catches it. He says, "You guys, I can take care of myself. I appreciate it. Thank you."
So what's the job for?
To take some steel back to Ingram. Some girders.
I'm trying to think what to say. Okay. What's the timing on the job?
We have to leave in 12 hours. I set an alarm for 10. That way we don't oversleep because Mr. Zuchy said we don't want to be late.
That's definitely the right thing to do. And we probably need a little bit of sleep before we head out. Did they tell us how much it was worth?
His immediately is like sort of crestfallen. He goes, "No, I didn't ask." And then he pulls out his phone to look to see like if they have a confirmed
There's
job
a Craigslist.
on
the phone. Sure enough, you pull up the app and you are listed for a job. There is a pickup countdown for it. It's showing you what you need to pick up, where it needs to be delivered. And it is 4 rep.
Ooh, it's 4 rep. That's more than this one.
See, we're climbing up the ranks now.
Yeah.
And even if it was for less, we still got to go back that way. So getting another job under our belt would probably be a good thing either way. Good job.
Thank you. He's just like sort of beaming, like I did good thing.
Well, unless there's anything else you guys want to do, I say we go back and hit the hay for a bit before we head out to our next mission.
Well, we were on our way up. Mr. Zuchy, do you still want to get another blue cap?
So now I confused myself now. So did I end up getting a blue cap before, or did we end up having to find the place to get it first with my
you were walking over towards that way whenever I showed up.
Okay.
Yeah, if you like, Kevin had one on him that he took.
Okay.
So if you didn't have any, we would have had to have found you at least one.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, I still have my rep that I could use to get another one.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So
And then Hux doesn't have to use his rep then.
I already transferred it to you, but
Oh, you did.
but yeah.
Yeah. So now you have 2 rep.
Yeah.
And a
So-
blue cap.
And then when you take the blue caps, you have to roll for it to make sure it still works. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So yeah. So he's all of a sudden he's like what I'm doing right now. He's like doing all the math in his head. And he's like, Jesus, guys, tell you this is sometimes more work with you guys than it needs to be. All right. So here's the thing. And he does the thing. He kind of does the thing and he transfers Huxley's rep back to him. And he's like, Hux, you take back your rep. You just keep it. We use it for whatever you need. I will use my rep. I will get another blue pill. And then I will take those and we'll just call it good. I'll be good, especially with a little bit of rest. I think I'm going to be right as rain.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I mean, you guys, we should keep some rep just in case something comes along that we may need it for. There's no reason to be hasty.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, I think if everybody's in agreement, then I think I would just try to find the other one and hopefully take them and hopefully be better.
Well, yeah, if we're gonna go head back to where those things are, I'll take the lead and we'll go walk back over to the machine so she can get his other one.
Sounds good. Yeah. So you lead them back. You you spend your rep. It pops out a blue cap for you.
Okay.
And then if you wanna take them now, I just need 2 health rolls for you.
Okay.
You just need to beat a DL3.
Okay. First one's a success. I got a 5.
Nice.
Wait, that's a yes and.
That's a yes and yeah.
No. I will just say that one right off. So he perks up a little bit more. His shoulders kind of start to right themselves to level or whatever, and he feels a little bit more rejuvenated. He's like, wow, these things really sure got a kick to them, don't they? And a 6 for the other one.
Perfect. You know what I'll say? With back-to-back yes ands, I'll actually give you another point off.
Yeah.
So those 2 caps will heal 3 radiation damage.
Nice.
When Zuchy shook the machine, an extra blue cap fell out of it.
So he kind of he takes the other one and he's like, it takes a little bit, he's just kind of I don't know if I feel. And then he's all of a sudden he's just whoa, those things, boy, these things here got a kick. I say if we're around this area again, we need a little something. This is the place to go right here.
Those are the caffeine
Well,
ones.
surprising considering the effect too that it had on Smokey. You saw him as soon as he took his. He looked like he got hit by a train.
You're jumping around.
Smokey, you must have got one of them expired ones.
I was just going to say the date on it was expired. I don't know how long it's been in my pocket.
Actually printed on the side of the pill.
I've been carrying it for too long.
It was due 3 weeks ago. You're like, shit.
So that drops you down to what, 4 now then?
4
right?
now, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he still checks, as soon as it hits 6, you still check a stat, right?
Yeah, but once you drop below 6, then it gets
clears
unchecked.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it,
Then
got
it gets
That's what
clear.
we did when mine hit 6. It was Jesse said just pick one of your stats, and then that
Yep.
was it hit my psyche right away.
Yep,
So.
and that's what I had with mine too.
Yeah.
So he feels a little mightier now.
Well, but I thought the mechanic was that you check the stat, right? But it was so you lose the negative, but the stat like remains checked, right? Because then once you hit all 6 stats being checked, then you get your long-term effect.
Or do they have to all be at the same time?
No, so it does get unchecked.
Okay. Maybe I'm misremembering. It's been a while.
So
since
there's no
I've read
residual.
through
If it hit Zuchy's might, the next time he hits it, can hit his might again. So it's not, you know, what I mean,
Okay.
it doesn't have that residual effect.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So is there anything else that you guys want to do in Green Hills before leaving? Other than, I'm assuming, sleeping.
I mean, Huxley's pretty sheltered, right? So, like, if this is the area that we're given, right? Like, I don't think he would be given to wander.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he's already had some exhausting experiences with a couple of people, so he might need some rest of his own.
I think the only thing Smokey would be doing is the last place we went, we saw the other runners that had those kind of lines painted on their arm. So while and then obviously the guys that attacked us had that. So I'll just, I'm just while we're walking around, not obviously, but I'll just be checking, I'm sure we all would be checking other people out, right? Because this is our first run and this is a new place. But Smokey will just be keeping an extra eye out to see if he sees anyone else with those.
Yeah. I think Zuchy would do that too, except for he wouldn't look at just that. He would look for anybody that's looking side eye at them. To be like, he doesn't now, he wasn't very trustworthy in the first place, but he thought he felt pretty safe until that attack that happened before. So now he's kind of like one eye on, everyone else just in case.
Sounds good. Yeah. And you see, for the most part, the people around here don't even pay attention to you. Most of the people in this compound are actually work here. They're not runners, but they're maintenance, they're crew, they're things like that. So most of them are used to strangers walking up and down the halls, so they don't really pay attention to much. Every once in a while, you can see someone who clearly doesn't belong here. Whether it's they have, they're not wearing, not that people wear a uniform around here, but like the woman that Hux and Zuchy ran into, with the jumpsuit and everything like that. Most of the people are wearing that. They have badges that they're wearing around their necks. So you can see whenever somebody doesn't have a badge, or there are some people that just have a weird hairstyle that just doesn't fit in with the general aesthetic of the people here. Or that person clearly isn't dressed for the weather. Like they're just not, it's, like you see, you go to down south and, those people are used to hot weather, and you have somebody, from the Northeast that goes down there and they're sweating their ass off because they're just not used to it. So, you see a handful of people like that. And a couple of them are side-eyeing you a little bit, trying to kind of place where you're from, if they know you, anything like that. For the most part, nobody comes up to you. Nobody tries to interact, really.
Okay. I think what Zuchy would do is, like, anytime somebody gives them that look, he gives them back, to be like the thing where it's like, either talk to me or don't. So,
right.
It's going to be one of those things where it's like, if they finally turn away, then he'll turn away. Otherwise, he'll just stare at them the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, almost ensuring that nobody's going to talk to you.
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
You know what? Why don't you go ahead and give me a charm roll?
Okay.
And if you have anything like intimidation or anything like that, like go ahead and throw that in there.
Sure do.
The fuck are you looking at?
Right.
So when I have the intimidation +1, it just adds +1 to what I'm rolling, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, just want to make sure. That's a 6 with my +1.
Holy crap. Yeah. So yeah, you in doing that, you're walking around for maybe like 15-20 minutes, and a couple of people have like looked at you and you like shoot them daggers and you're like, come on, motherfucker, basically kind of thing. And they're after walking the halls for a little bit, people pretty much not only, don't make eye contact with you or it's like a brief glance, like they're almost like crossing to the other side of the hallway just to make sure that they don't interact with you.
Yeah.
And Huxley's oblivious. He's like all smiles. He's just kind of like bopping along.
Yep. It's almost like the little dog with the really big dog behind him. All right. So yeah. So I assume then that at the very least Huxley is sticking to the compound.
I mean, if one of them's like, "Hey, we should like fucking go walk around because we've never been here," like he would go. Like I don't think he would necessarily.
He's not going to be the one that goes, "Let's go explore."
Yeah, no, totally not. But he would go
Gotcha.
with, right? Because I don't think he'd want to be alone necessarily, right? Like we've never been here before.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, I think Smokey's just going to head back up to our room anyway. So he's not. If we've got 10 hours, obviously trying to build back up after the last run and shake off some of this literally, not literally, but metaphorically, some of this damage before we go on the next run. So he's just going to go back and try to catch a bit of sleep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think Zuchy is thinking the same way. Even though he's taking these pills and he's got a little bit more pep in his step, he's still like, okay, we definitely need to rest before we, get the steel out back to Ingram.
Sounds good. All right. So yeah, if you guys want to basically head back to the barracks and rest up there, you absolutely can.
Sounds good.
So let's see. In general, it's a quiet night. There's less than a dozen other runners that are overnighting here. And you see the place is probably only like a quarter full right now. There's probably about 50 or so bunks in this area. So the three of you and a handful of other people can kind of just chill out. There's around 10 o'clock, there's a soft chime that goes off and then the lights kind of dim down. And there's like this kind of soft brown noise that's played over some speakers just to kind of help everyone relax.
I think when we go back, before that happens, I think Huxley would check the suits, see what the power levels are. Like he would just, kind of do a check down while we were sort of getting ready to go to bed. Like he'd go to each suit and kind of just check, make sure the connections are good, cycle through a couple things, make sure stuff looks what we would expect, right? Like he does have mechanics and stuff, so like he's good for that stuff.
Nice. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and then give me a mechanics check. You're just doing a basic run of them, so give me a DL3.
I got a pair of 6s and a 1, so that's going to be a 7 total.
Nice. So that's a yes and. So yeah, all 3 suits look like they made it through unscathed. Even getting kind of when you went through the whole decontamination process, it got rid of most of it, all like the dirt and everything that was on them too. So they're looking nice and clean. And
they are charging faster than we would expect. Maybe their equipment is better. So like when we leave, we'll all be at full power.
Perfect. I like it.
Cool.
Now while you're going over the suits, with your railgun, is that something that you do just want to carry on with you, or are you going to actually try to mount it to your suit?
He wouldn't try to mount it. He's not comfortable with it. Like it's sort of in the nook, like leaning up next to the suit in the little nook, and like he kind of like shuffles around it and kind of like looks at it, and it's still there. If anything, he would either just try to like strap it so that it's just like sticking up, like if you were carrying a rifle on a sling, sort of thing. Because he would not. His intention would not be to use it. But obviously, we're not going to leave it here either.
Right, yeah.
Because we don't know anybody.
Almost like mounting it to the suit is like accepting that you're going to use it at some point.
Right. Yeah. He just wants to be able to get it home, and then we'll figure it out.
Nice. All right, sounds good. Yeah. So yeah, suits look good. They're charging up. So by the time, just like you said, by the time you guys need to leave in the morning, they'll be at full power. You'll be perfectly fine. So yeah, at that point, the 3 of you can catch some sleep, and there's a nice a little bit past sunrise. There's a nice dinging, a chiming sound, and the lights in the barracks slowly come up to full, almost to mimic like a quickening sunrise.
I really kind of wanted to have him wake up screaming, but I rolled a psyche check before that check, and I rolled a 6. So I feel
there you go. You're holding it together.
not that he's cool with it or whatever, but like it also like he doesn't have nightmares tonight about it.
Right. Yeah. You don't have that nightmare where you walk over and you open up the guy's helmet and he has that giant hole in the middle of his head and then his eyes blast open. He's like, "You killed me." That didn't happen yet.
Not tonight.
It was all right. So yeah, day. He's a time.
Right. Yeah. So you guys wake up in the morning, and I'm assuming go to the storage room with your suits, and start to get geared up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, do we grab something to eat first?
You can if you like.
Oh yeah, probably, right?
Yeah, we got 2 hours before we have to actually check in.
Yeah, a little bit of something there, because if we're trying to think how long we said it would take to get back. I'm trying to think the timing on the first run out, how long it took.
Fuck, I don't remember.
It
was a day.
It was
right?
supposed to take 7 hours.
Yeah, I thought it was 7 or 8.
You ended up being able to cut it down to 6 hours because Huxley was able to wire up the tram.
Yeah.
So,
but then we also spent time
in
dicking around in the other place because of the fallen building and all.
Yeah. So I mean, you were in the scrub for about a couple hours.
Okay.
But that's also time outside of the radiation, at least.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was thinking just a travel time without the scrub. Just if we did just flat foot it straight back, kind of thing.
Yeah. So you'd be looking at 7 hours.
Okay. No, I'm just trying to think of if we're leaving in the morning, make sure we get, depending on what season it is and where we're at, make sure it's not like pitch black when we get back or anything. So at least not pitch black for a big chunk of the way.
Yeah, as long as you leave by, we'll say it's probably about 8 o'clock right now. When you finally really probably wakes you, they probably wake you up at about 7.
Yeah.
When the lights come on. So as long as you're gone by about 10, you should be fine. You should be able to make it back to Ingram by sunset.
Yeah. So I'll say, why don't we just grab something to eat real quick, then get suited up and then head out.
Okay, that sounds good.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So I'm, just still the same thing. Just, trying to look around and see if I notice anything. If not, just eat and then, head up and start getting suited up.
Sounds good. Yeah, why don't you, Smokey, why don't you go ahead and give me let's call it psyche. A psyche check. If you have awareness or anything like that, you can add that in. This is you're kind of giving a general survey of the cafeteria, looking at everybody else that's in here.
5.
5. All right. Yeah. So as you're looking around, you notice that there's only a few other people in here right now. But you get the sense, you can't know for sure, but you get the sense that everybody from the few other runners in here to the staff are just kind of looking at you, catching a glimpse at you every once in a while. And, every time you look over at somebody, it's like they were looking at you and then they turn away real quick.
So when Zuchy was giving everybody the stink eye, we were all together, right?
Yep.
Okay, because we weren't going separate ways. So, okay, well, when I'll notice that, I'll just, jokingly say over to Zuchy, I think you've left an impression on everybody. No one wants to get too close or stare too long after yesterday or
Smokey,
earlier.
Sometimes that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, so Smokey's not going to take it more than, because we've been doing the same thing, right? We've been eyeballing everybody and all that. So I'm not going to be paranoid or anything, and I'll just kind of joke around about it with Zuchy that, but yeah, I'm not going to take it on board more than just there's new people here, or, maybe they talk to Pam, look at these 3 goofballs asking a million questions, all that kind of stuff, just, we're new to the place, that kind of thing. If you said most of the people in here look like they're not runners, then obviously this is their place. So that's the way Smokey's going to treat it.
Sounds good. All right, so once the 3 of you finish eating, and you can head back over, suit on up, and then head to the warehouse.
Mm-hmm. And I'll follow behind Huxley and Zuchy because they were the ones that were talking to Pam before. So I'll mosey on with them.
Sounds good. All right, so yeah, you 3 of you get suited up. Make your way down the hallway. It's a direct shot to the warehouse. And as soon as you get there, there's a little a blip that goes off notifying control that runners have arrived. And it's not Pam. right now. Different woman kind of turns around and, she has, again, that same visor that Pam was wearing, though. Sees the three of you and immediately goes, Huxley, Smokey, Zuchy. You want to go to Bay 7. Your delivery will be there.
Thank you. Huxley walks off in the direction she pointed.
And Zuchy gets a look on his face like, wow, he didn't stick around to like flub it up or anything like that. He just said okay and then he left. He's learning.
All right. So yeah, when you go over, the bay is empty. You see, big kind of, probably like 15 by 15 foot area, painted off on the ground, and on the floor and the wall, you see a big stenciled number 7. And then, probably about 5 or 6 seconds after you arrive, you start to hear the whirring of engines above you, of the motors, as this big wench starts pulling the cargo over, and you see it then go and lower down on the ground as these 2 massive crates of they're probably only about 2 feet long, but these steel I-beams bundled all in there, and each pile is probably about 8 feet tall. And for your sake, you were looking at a size 24 cargo load.
So like it lands, and Huxley's like, oh, and he just like turns to look at the other 2. I don't know if we can. That's a lot of. Oh boy. That's all he says.
What did we have? Because what did Huxley bring the coal in, right? Because I thought.
So my capacity is 10.
Okay. My capacity said.
Well, we had you leave your fucking trailer at home so you'd be faster.
Yeah. I had cargo pack on here. Did I swap that out then?
Yeah, you took that out so that you'd gain speed from it.
Okay, so I left the cargo pack behind.
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't cross it off on my sheet then. I must have. It might be on the notepad. Okay. Ooh. So
well, is the cargo pack the same thing as his cart? Because he had a hauler. Oh, the other thing's a rucksack.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
I think the cargo pack was. I don't think I had a hauler. I think it was just the cargo pack, right? Let me go pull up the other thing.
Yeah, you had the cargo pack.
Okay, so we left that behind. So then, how much capacity does that leave me? You said you've got 10.
Mm-hmm.
So what does Zuchy have for capacity?
15.
Oh, so between the 2 of us, we could actually take it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll, Smokey will kind of, pat himself down comically and saying, well, looks like you guys, the young guys will do the carrying. I'll keep an eye out and make sure you guys are going in the right direction. I'm trying to pull up to see how much I could actually carry.
You should have some capacity on your suit, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't remember what that number was.
Let me see if I can.
I mean, without the rucksack, I have 5. Because the rucksack's, it's like essentially like a big backpack, but not really a backpack.
So I mean, the capacity on your suit to start with is 15.
Okay.
But it depends on
Your
what
gear.
parts and everything you have, what gear, how much that's taking up. So let's see. It looks like if you took off the cargo pack, then you should be at 10.
Okay.
Which means you'll have an extra 5.
Oh, so we could split this up pretty evenly then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know the coal, what we took was, I don't know if it was 24, but I know it was.
No, I think that was 10.
Okay. Oh, so it was even smaller. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a small load.
All right, and then Smokey will look, kind of look around and say, "Oh, I guess I do have some room." So we'll split it up evenly. How's that sound? So if we each take 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do that then.
I don't think you're gonna get out of this easily, Smokey, by just. Oh, I'm so sorry. My capacity is so low. I just can't bring myself to bring anything.
These old bones can't carry too much. I was leaving it to
You're not that old.
Yeah, so then we just split up evenly between the 3 of us then.
Sounds good.
Because so it was the cargo pack and the Geiger I left behind to boost speed then. Because I know the Geiger I actually wrote down, so I must have forgot the.
Yeah, well, I think the Geiger you just turned off to conserve power.
Power, yeah.
Yeah.
And the cargo pack was speed. That's right.
Yep.
Okay. I will put that on there just so, because obviously I wrote the one down, not the other one.
So yeah, as long as you don't pick anything, I think that pretty much maxes all of you out for capacity.
No, we still have 10 left over because I have 10. Zuchy had 15, so that's 25 right there. And then if Smokey's got 10 on his own, that's essentially 10 free.
9, because if we're saying it was 24, right? Or was it 25? Yeah, 24. So 9.
Yeah. So if you split it up evenly, then you should have a little bit of room in case anything comes up.
Yeah.
So
we could always shuffle it around if we needed to. If we find something bigger that one person had to take, then we could shuffle things.
Yep. Yeah. So so they'll they have a couple of warehouse workers too that'll help you guys split it up, pack it up, and get situated. So
cool.
All right. So yeah, it looks like so the run back, we're looking at the same radiation level as you were before, which I believe is what, 5?
I think it was 5.
5, yep. Which means just as long as everything goes according to plan, both Zuchy and Smokey will just be taking 1 per hour, 1 radiation damage per hour. Huxley will be okay. And if you're running at pace the entire time and it only takes you the 7 actually no, because that's if you're able to get the tram back the way that you came before, it'll cut it to 6 hours. Other than that, if you either can't get the tram working again, or if it's, if you don't want to try that, then it'll be 7 hours. Regardless, you still have just enough power to get you there and back again. Or from Green Hills back to Ingram.
Okay.
So,
are we going to have a problem because we cut through that scrub because that building was down? do we have some sense of how we could get around that, or is that something where we would have to go through?
I mean, you are welcome there. So in theory, as long as Smokey still has his coin and they're not shoot on sight right now, you can just cut through that scrub again. So
I just don't know if they would be amenable to people like, hey, we got to run through here. Peace. See you later. Ticketed. Thanks.
Yeah.
Right. Like somebody running through your
can
front
either
door
do
and
that.
out your back door. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah. I'm sure.
I mean, you can do that, or
that,
it was built underneath the bridge. And the way that they took you, the little shortcut path that they gave you took you up out of the dry riverbed and back onto the streets. So you could just take the bridge up and over and take it back back to the other side.
Yeah, let's plan to not go through it unless we have to, right? Just so we can get back to Ingram. But we did, I did have the coin, and then when we talked to Dog and Lily, I gave Lily my lighter, so hopefully we do have a bit of friendlies there. But yeah, let's just try to go straight back if we can.
Okay. Makes sense.
All right. So whenever the three of you are ready.
I assume we're ready. Like Huxley looks around, sort of like, is it like, can we go? Like someone have to like open the door, right? Like I don't.
Yep.
Well, I was going to say Smokey's all suited up, so it's not time to take a break. But I think I may have to go run for 2 minutes. So Kevin will. Smokey will look around and go, "Oh, I should have thought of that before I put my suit on." But yeah, I'm ready. Smokey's ready to go, but I'll be back in 2 minutes.
I don't want to fill up the filtration system right yet. Well,
fair enough. All right. Well, I will go do the same then.
Yeah, I was going to say, I will also.
Mid-session break.
I'm not. One is the loneliest number that you'll ever see. Yeah, just me, just hanging out. Hey, what's going on, guys? I don't know if anyone's actually watching right now, but yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. There's some fun stuff going on right now. So we're next time there's going to be some new things. Got a new power mechanic that we're going to be trying out. We hash that out. Still working on how to do encounters and things like that. Might be either revamping the current system or completely ditching it and throwing it in a new one. We'll see. Right now, maybe if you're wondering what I'm drinking, it's a Harmony Spring birch beer. It's a local place. It's nice and sweet. Swapping that with the with also it's a Kolsch from Mayflower Brewing. Yeah, gives a nice little balance. I've got a notebook. I use that to write stuff down. Hey, John's back.
I'm back. Kevin's back.
All right, now I'm back.
All right, so how are we gonna kill Zuchy?
Oh shit!
Ah, damn it! I don't think he heard us. I think we're okay.
Depends if he had speakers or his headphones.
Yeah, we're cool. He didn't hear us. He never said that in yet. Yeah, it's cool. He didn't hear it saying, "Hey, Carl, what's going on?" Oh, no, we can't hear him.
Damn it. I don't like when you do that. It's not very nice.
Hey, there you go. All right. So yeah. All three of you are ready to go. System checks are looking good. Oh, what's up?
Huxley checks everybody's seals and everything before we leave. Like he looks around to like, how do we get out of here? And then if somebody like slaps the button, he's like, hold on guys. And like he'll just go around and check the helmet's okay, and like tap the power on the back, make sure the levels are all good. Yeah.
Like everybody's readout is still saying fine, but you're just ultra paranoid right now. Yep. Yeah, there's you have a little spray bottle, you spray all the gaskets, there's no bubbles coming up. Yep.
Yep.
It all looks good.
All right. Okay, everybody looks good.
Let's hit the road before wasting too much time.
There you go. So yeah, going you will leave the same way you came in. So there's that large kind of double door that leads to the decontamination area, which they do not activate this time since you were leaving and they don't give a shit. And so, yeah, you head down the long hallway until eventually you reach the set of double doors that slide open, and you can see kind of the scorched grass area around Green Hills that opens up with the city off in the distance.
So I'll just make sure we're all heading in the right direction. Kind of look at our map and then the updates that Huxley did on the way here.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just make sure we're all heading in the right direction.
Sounds good. Yeah. So yeah, you can look at it. You have your path plotted out. A couple of little highlights. You have the scrub there listed on your map now if you want to hit that up. You have the nice big area right in the middle of your map between Green Hills and Ingram. That is the Mega Mall. And and you also have just a little bit outside between the scrub and the Mega Mall of the Kodiak porcupine mating area. That's their little territory. So another little thing to watch out for just in case.
The way back,
Yeah. It's been a day. It's probably still the height of mating season. So might want to watch out. Zuchy knows the males can get pretty territorial and aggressive. So
we're going to try to steer around that.
Once it's fascinating, the next it's dangerous.
All right. So yeah, you guys basically start off in a slow trot and start to quickly gain speed until you reach your max velocity and begin just powering through into the city. I'm assuming, do you just want to kind of stay at that speed for now? Do you want to try to travel any faster, or are you just kind of trying to conserve energy and go on through?
I don't think we'd ramp it up unless we have to, right? Let's just keep it that pace.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since your power is kind of on the sketchy side anyway.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, basically like any little trip up or any extra time that you have to spend in here, and you're going to have to figure out something for Smokey. So,
yeah. And I think, on the way out, I think Zuchy and Huxley both know that I'm the weight holding them back. So I think we've gotten into a good routine of knowing when to push it and trying to find the best way to get through. So
sounds good. All right. So you spend the next couple hours or so, the next hour, you clear Green Hills completely, start getting into the main area of Sabatha proper. Green Hills, what used to be Green Hills pretty much would be almost like the more urban suburbs. It's kind of like it's still like the downtown domesticated area of the city. But still kind of on the outskirts of the city itself. So as you begin to go, buildings start to get a little bit bigger, which just means more rubble on the ground. There was that whole kind of city shopping district that you were running up into. And eventually you come to the highway area that's pockmarked and kind of rumbled a little bit, but it gives you at least a little bit more of a clear shot. And you can see that, it kind of starts to rise up just a little bit. And why don't the three of you go ahead and give me a either brains or psyche. You're with awareness. So you're basically looking out for any trouble or anything up ahead.
5 is my highest.
4.
Okay.
4 as well.
Sounds good. All right. So that's going to be a yes for Zuchy and Smokey, a yes and for Huxley. So Zuchy and Smokey, you two see the spot that you were coming up to. You're about half hour or so outside of the scrub under the bridge. And this is the spot that you were attacked by those two runners. And Huxley, you notice this as well. I'm going to give you your and. You see the runner that you killed. You can kind of, it's midday at this point, almost noon, sun's right up. You see it shining, glinting off of his suit. You see him laying there in the middle of the street. And only him.
Yeah, so I think he flips the comm on and sort of like in an unsteady voice, he says, that's where the people were.
Zuchy says, yeah, I see it as well.
Only the one is there still.
You don't see the other one.
No. I guess he must be okay.
I will hope so, but that's also troublesome for us.
This happened right after we left the scrub before, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I think Smokey will say if he did get up, he probably headed for the scrub. So I think it may be a good idea if we could try to bypass the scrub on the way back, just to make sure we don't stir up any trouble if that is where he went.
Yeah, because they don't know the story, so he could tell any story he wants.
I think Huxley's just quiet because he hadn't really thought about any like, wow, this guy could be like even more trouble. Like, I don't know. It's just all kind of rattling around in his brain.
Yeah, in his head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would somebody do that? Like,
let's stay focused and finish up this job. We did good on the first job and made it. We delivered it on time and successfully, so let's not worry about anything else. If there's stuff to worry about, we can worry about it afterwards. Let's just, stay focused on finishing this run up and getting back home.
I think Huxley would try to maybe even subconsciously kind of run around. Like I wouldn't run, like if they were headed towards like right past where the body was, he would be like edging around at like run right past the body. Does that make sense?
It does. Yep. Why don't you go ahead, Huxley, give me a wow, I'm blanking.
I have nothing useful, so I'm just rolling dice.
give me a grace roll DL4.
I got a 4.
All right, that's a yes, but
yep.
So
step right on his broken skull.
More nightmare fuel for the rest of your life.
Yeah. So yeah, as you are running, you're kind of at that point, things are kind of going through your head a little bit. And so you're like, okay, I'm gonna kind of go around this guy. I don't want to come in contact with it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to do anything with it. And so you begin to kind of skirt around the outside, and you do successfully make it, away. So he does not come within your peripheral vision at all. You psychologically, you do not have to revisit that.
Right. I can convince myself that that's just like a rock. That's not really that guy still laying there.
But you're so focused on not seeing that and not trying to relive that trauma, that you don't notice the side of the highway there where the under structure has kind of rotted away, has kind of rusted through. And so as you begin to make your way over, suddenly the asphalt just gives way underneath you.
Whoa! I would, it's like a saving throw kind of thing. Like, can I make a grace roll to catch myself?
Absolutely, yeah. We'll call this a DL4 as well. So grace DL4.
Okay. Oh, I rolled up 2 5s.
Nice. There you go.
I just rolled 2 5s.
Yep. Yeah. So that's a yes. Yeah. So you start to fall. You manage to kind of like throw your arms out, and there's some of the rebar that was previously holding this together is sticking out, and you kind of throw it, like you get your armpit almost over it and like hook yourself in there. So now you're like dangling with this 30-foot drop below you, just hung up in this rebar.
Help! I need help.
Zuchy would go as quickly as he could to grab Huxley and pull him out.
Sounds good. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and give me a might check?
Uh-oh.
If you have anything like athletics or anything like that, you can throw that to it as well.
Okay.
Martial arts.
What's Smokey going to be doing, right? Martin, he's going to punch you out?
It's strength and conditioning and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I have athletics. It's fine.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna head over also, but obviously Zuchy probably got their way before Smokey, so but I will
grab that guy, get him by the arm, pull him up. Yeah, you did it. Good job.
Yeah, exactly. I give moral encouragement.
Right.
That is a 7 with the +1.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. So that's we'll count that as a yes. And so yeah, you actually are able to get him up and yeah, why don't you go ahead and give me the and?
Yeah, sure. So this is not going to be anything special, but more funny than anything. So like when with the blue pills kind of helping and his rest,
feeling
he
the
feels
buzz.
invigorated. He like lifts him so easily. It's like picking up a baby. He just kind of like whoop, and then kind of like sets him like so nicely on his feet that it's like it went from this really like dangerous thing to like, I'll get you. Boop, there you are.
Nice.
And you put me down and I kind of stumble because I'm not expecting it to be so light, and just kind of like put me down, and he's like, whoa, oh my God, thank you. Just the road, I was running, the road fell out, and then it was just dangling. Oh my, thank you, Mr. Zuchy.
Yeah, Zuchy puts both of his hands on him. He says, I understand. We're in a tough spot right here. You have a pass with this thing, even though it's a very what's the word I'm thinking of? It's very recent past with the situation. I understand, but you always got to keep your eye on what you're doing as well.
I don't like it here. I don't like it here at all. This is a bad place.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but it doesn't get better wherever you go. This job is not made for the faint of heart. So I know that you've got a kindness in you that I see, but you're gonna have to that heart's gonna have to get a little hardened up. You're gonna have to get a little bit of metal if you're gonna continue to do this work.
I think he just kind of hangs his head a little bit, right? Because he doesn't want to think about being like like a harder person, right? Like,
yeah.
Like it's an anathema to him.
Yeah. And he does this very like kind, not very kind, but like gentle thing where he does lift your head up and he says, I don't need you to be a hard badass. I don't need you to be, the next. And then he like says a name that's like this big badass that's a runner or whatever. He's like, I don't need you to be that lady. You can be whoever you want. You just have to you have to find a little bit more courage, because otherwise more bad things are gonna happen to all of us, not just you.
Okay. I mean, I'll try.
That's all I can ask. Smokey, where were you? You could have helped too. Jeez.
I had to get myself warmed up in case you needed help, but you took care of it.
Warmed up, boy. I tell you, there's somebody that needs a little bit more metal, and he kind of like elbows Huxley. That guy, he needs more metal.
You need to stretch. You need to stretch properly.
So meanwhile, Smokey's like leaning against the concrete median of the highway, just watching you guys, like
stretching his leg out, just one leg.
It's a cigarette inside his suit helmet.
Yeah.
I don't even know how he got it in there, but he's got it.
Yeah. You can see every time he exhales the smoke, you see it like cloud up for the helmet for a moment, and then the ventilation system sucks it all in. It's like
always get a helmet that gives you enough clearance for the smoke in your mouth. Make sure the faceplate's not too close. So I'd say double check your suit, make sure you didn't take any damage. Just trying to look around. Doesn't look like anything happened, but you know better than we do. And let's get you out of this place. Let's get us all out of this place and get back home.
Yeah. You're not getting any warning lights from your system. No punctures. You seem good.
Okay. Everything seems pretty good. So yeah, let's go. He kind of like
Smokey
glances over his shoulder at the hole in the fucking ground and starts to ramp back up again.
Yep.
Yeah, Smokey starts running, starting to pick up speed again.
Yeah,
sounds good. So yeah, as you guys begin to cross over the bridge, and when you get there, you can actually see now the top of under the bridge, and there's just on either you're running on the left side. So if we're in North America, if we're in the US, you're going against traffic. If there were any here, and the whole other side of the bridge is just solar panels of different, they look different qualities, different types, all just kind of thrown together and set up in this array with all these giant cables kind of running down and through.
Huxley kind of starts to slow down a bit because he's like, "Oh, look at that! Look, where'd they get that cable from? From that thing." Like he's just like he's easily distracted, so like he starts to slow down until somebody's like, "Hey."
And even through your suits, you can hear like the gentle hum of the scrub, and you can feel the vibration. Like the bridge itself is almost like slowly vibrating underneath you. And you cross the bridge over, you go through there, and begin now the kind of zigzag fashion of making your way into the bulk of the city. And I think we'll go ahead and call it there for now.
Okay.
At least we didn't get shot at this time.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I thought for sure you're gonna have that other guy just waiting somewhere to peg Huxley or something like that. So
here's your butt.
Yeah. That's a good storyline for later.
Right. Yeah.
When he's back to full health and ready for revenge.
There you go. All right. Well, I guess I'll take us out. Thank everybody for checking it out. There's a Patreon if you want to throw some money at us that way. If not, it's fine. Whatever. Kurt's wife Tracy has a resin shop. She sells dice and
jewelry,
wine stoppers, and pops or whatever the hell for your phone. I don't know. I'm old. I don't know what any of that stuff is. She sells all that stuff. I will go back, throw a link in the show notes for that. I have a couple of sets of dice. She does some really nice work. So please check that out as well if you're into any of those sorts of resin things. She's making these flowers now, which I guess are also kind of like wine topper things that look really awesome.
She's making it for jewelry cases, and she's not only doing she's doing polyhedral dice for like your fantasy games or whatnot, but also D6s for if you want to do core games. D6 sets too. Those are very popular.
Cool. Yep. Ratings, reviews on iTunes, whatever your podcatcher of choice is, yada yada. You know the whole thing. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Post show. So I guess in a real meta sense, so as I mentioned earlier in the show, the campaign is a playtest for runners, which is still being written, worked on, tweaked, changed, even the whole
completely torn apart and rebuilt. Yeah.
I really wish it was going to be totally torn apart. That's a different one. That's for the Patreon people.
Huxley would be mortified.
What is this?
We were going to try
the young unassuming virgin.
Fuck, he's probably a good sacrifice for some shit.
Luckily, this is in Cthulhu, and it's
right.
We were going to try some new dice mechanics for both the power and also for like presence and like the run stuff. There's a whole other mechanic for that Jesse's messing around with. So we will see some of that in the future. I guess maybe we should possibly be more cognizant while we're playing about maybe calling out mechanics, kind of like we were today, because I feel like we haven't really done that before. And like, it's a core game. Like if you watch the show, you kind of have a good sense of core. We've been doing it for years and years and years.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Settings, material specific things for this that maybe we should be calling out.
Yeah. Even if it's a game that I'm used to, I still like when people point out rules and like different nuances and things just to like remind people, because sometimes even if you've played a game for years, sometimes you forget about some things. You're like, oh, that's a thing, that's cool, I could use it in my game. We
played board games wrong for years before we realized that we're not using the rules the right way.
Always. I've been doing this for 5 years. What the hell was my problem?
But I think we did good because we did call out when we were doing using the blue caps, right? So I think that's the first time we did that. So that was good.
Yep.
Shelving that.
Yeah, and it gave us a chance to talk about, a little more in depth about the radiation damage and how you heal up from that and all that kind of stuff. So but yeah, I mean, that's one of the big reasons I wanted to look to redo the power mechanic, is because it's basically a numbers game, right? Like you take the power that your battery creates, you look at how much you're going to use, and then you're just ticking off numbers on a sheet at that point. And that's just resource management at that point. It's like the ranger keeping track of their arrows. Right. Which isn't super fun. So that's why I want
necessary for like certain aspects though, because like if you, like you said, like, okay, are you guys gonna just keep at a good pace, or are you gonna go a little bit faster? Go a little bit faster, then that comes into play.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why with the new mechanic, all that's still gonna be a thing. You're still gonna have your power reserve. We're still gonna do that, but instead, your power reserve is actually going to be a pool of dice. And so anytime you do something like a push, or if there's something during gameplay that, we feel could use up a little more of your power than normal, basically you're going to roll dice, and that's, you're going to have a chance to drain some of your reserve. So it makes it a little more interactive, and doesn't just make it a numbers game at that point. So
cool.
And theoretically, then add some more tension, right? Because if you roll, whatever it is, if you roll a 1 and you have to remove a die, you're like, well, shit, now I only have X number of dice now. If I push it again,
exactly, yeah.
Shit, I might. What if I roll 2 1s next time, or whatever it is?
Right, yeah. Yep. So that's something that I don't know if we'll get to it next game, because I want to finish up. So the reason I ended the session where I did, is because I didn't want it to go too long, but like, I'd like you guys to get back to Ingram. And I felt this was like a good, like, calm point to do it, right?
Before the huge combat that's upcoming.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, right. So yeah, I mean, most of the stuff, I figure most of the stuff is going to happen on the back end of this run. So I figured let all that happen next session. So instead, we probably will start screwing around with the new mechanics the session after that, which will be, at that point we can talk about, the new timing and power reserve, and we can get into that afterwards, as opposed to doing it mid-run, which really doesn't make too much sense.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I also wonder about like gear things while we're playing. Like, I wonder if, something like, not like a standard tent, right? Because that's not going to protect you from anything. But, if there is some like future tech where like the tent is sealed and is able to provide like, like a filtration or whatever, like we don't have anything like that. And I don't know that, like, if you get stuck somewhere, I just wonder if it's a thing that should be available.
So
like if you run out of
costs
power,
a lot of it costs a lot of rep.
Yeah.
But there is a I have a stasis generator. That is basically a mini scrub area.
Mini dome.
So it's like a little dome that gets set up that basically puts everything organic in stasis. So you can't gain harm. You also can't heal. But it basically allows you, a small area where if you need to, you can sleep, you can repair equipment, you can do anything like that. So.
Okay. All right. Maybe
it might be interesting though. Yeah. I mean, it might be a good idea though, to have something a little bit cheaper that is kind of like a mini decontamination tent.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. So it doesn't, with something like that, it could be cool where, if it gets ripped, you're fucked, especially if like you get like, if it gets attacked while you're out of your suit, like you're screwed.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Or even if you have to stay in your suit in it, right? I mean, I hadn't thought it all the way through, but also like, if would you sleep in the burn? I like maybe I think maybe the thought behind it was like when we were working on that dude, we took his helmet off and it fucked him. But if we had like a little decon tent, that we could throw up around him or pull him into, because like if one of us gets hurt, you're kind of screwed. Like, I medic or whatever, so like you can't get out of your suit.
Right. Yeah.
So there's not really any way to provide meaningful first aid.
Unless if you're on a run, then you just dump your contract and slap the body on whatever you can carry. You know what I mean?
But I mean, there will be like when you get higher up, like if once you have a better suit, better power source, all that kind of stuff, like there's potential there for you to do runs that last,
couple days,
14, 15 hours. Like you could go multiple days. So something like that, like unless that there's a scrub somewhere,
I also wonder, like, because core is not super crunchy, right? The suit provides, right? I feel like, you could take on, depends on how you build your suit. The Medicus had no armor, so it adds to the roll for your defense. So it's your roll plus, the armor would be +1. Is there? So I guess it comes down to the conjunctions, right? So somebody rolls a yes and beat the armor, so they hit you in a soft spot, they get you in a joint. Or it does like physical, it's like being in a suit of armor, right? Like okay, yeah, I didn't cut you, but I broke all your fucking ribs because like you're taking the impact damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I get some of the question being then like, could the end be like, oh, and I break the joint, or I break the seal, or I break the actuator, right? So like, can the suit take damage, and how does that translate into the run, right? And is that something that's like, again, Huxley's a mechanic, so theoretically I could jury rig something to get it going, but then like does more like more time or more power, and maybe it's an edge case, maybe it's not, but I kind of wonder about some of those things.
Oh no, absolutely, it's something that I've thought about too. With the fight that you had with the two other runners. And so narratively, and I'm going to add it in the book. When a runner is in their suit, basically I'm counting them, like the person and the suit, as one in the same, right? So like when there's damage dealt, it all depends on how the GM and the players want to play it. Of, you could have it where, you get hit and it's the suit getting damaged. Right. Because ultimately, if the suit gets broken, effectively the runner's dead anyway. Right.
Yeah.
And so the one thing is I would be hesitant to be like, oh, like, your helmet gets knocked off, because then at that point you're also fucking dead. Like, bam, you've immediately taken, 6 radiation damage, like, and you're going to take another 6 soon, unless you can get your helmet fixed. Right. But in terms of like damaging gear and everything like that, I would absolutely use that as an and for an attack.
I wonder then, and again, I don't remember because it's been such a long time since I looked at the book, if there's something, akin to Death Watch, like blast paste or whatever. So like, yeah, the suit gets a hole in it, but you could put your patch kit and patch the hole, right? But it's like future tech, so it's like or maybe the suit itself is sealing to some degree, or has the ability to like do that, or it's like, let me get this fucking cement on it so I don't die.
Yep. I actually do have a blading foam.
Okay. Smokey has
so it's it's a small foam. It's a foam that quickly hardens, and you can. So the thing, it's core, so I like to leave it up to interpretation. But it is something that you can use it to either patch the suit. You can also use it to create brittle areas to break stuff. So, but yeah, that's a thing that you can also use it to heal people if you want. It's going to fuck them up, but if somebody had their arm blasted off, you're not necessarily going to care about burning the rest of their skin. You're just going to want to get that stump sealed up as quickly as possible. So
yeah, Smokey's got some of that. So
there you go.
I thought there was something.
If Zuchy loses his arm, he wants an arm blade made out of that. So
okay, cool. When you say book, it is literally going to be like a book.
Right now, it's at 74 pages. It's probably going to be a little bit more than that.
So much reading. Why?
as opposed to Cthulhu, like from cover to back cover is like 28 pages.
28, yeah.
So it has like 18 pages of actual content.
Well, too, I mean, with Cthulhu though, it's a for use with, so like you don't have any of the base rules in there. You don't have anything like that. Yeah. This is an all-in-one.
And
So-
it's a futuristic thing, right? If Cthulhu's, you're going with the stereotypical, setting it in, a time that you don't need, in-planet HU displays or a blading foam and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Right. It's wherever your local place that you want to be in.
Yeah, place and time kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to use a telegraph or do you want to use computers kind of thing, right? So
right. The next version will be a full thing, not for use with. It'll be a full powered by.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's still a whole ways off.
But yeah, no, yeah, I was kind of I was looking forward to doing some of the stuff, but I also realized too when when you guys were prepping to leave, I need some kind of like chart or something, something just so that it makes it a lot easier to be like, this is where everybody's at. Like, this is how far you're going. This is just something that is easy to reference and jot numbers down on. Just so it's not like that constant kind of like, oh, that's what are we doing? So
would the run sheet work for that? Like not the for runners run sheet, but like the run sheet for core to sort of keep track of some of that information, like how many blocks, how long it should be, as opposed to just like scribble down on a random piece of paper,
right?
or whatever.
Yeah. Probably. I need something official, other than just a scribbled down piece of paper.
Yeah. I mean, you come up with something specifically for this that has the information that you're looking for, as opposed to like a generic run sheet. But
yeah.
And so, how does everybody feel? Like, how's the game going? Right, like we've all played core, right? So, like, I mean, that's all. But how you feeling for the game? How you feeling for your characters? That kind of stuff.
I think it's good, and I think we're developing the characters. I think we said this before too. We're building them up. We've each put our own kind of things into our characters, and I think the way the characters interacting, I hope everyone feels that we're kind of fitting into what we feel. We're not metagaming, right? We're playing it as our characters would. So no, and I guess an easy way to say it, right, is if you're playing a game and you feel like it's too much work trying to, it doesn't feel like that, trying to get from A to B or character development, things like that. I think it's all working pretty smoothly. So
yeah, I would agree. Like, I don't feel like it, even though we're taking, some stops and stuff like that to talk about some things that are, mechanic wise or, what fits the, the runner story and stuff like that. I feel like all of our characters, even though we've only played a few sessions, I feel like they're pretty, they're flushed out pretty well for as many episodes as we've done. Like even in this episode, like watching Huxley like just be oblivious and just kind of like nervous, this nervous little guy, like I basically, even though I was playing as Zuchy, I was kind of playing it as myself too, because I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, go ahead, go have fun, and then smile and be like, oh, this is gonna be great,
and I don't think we've gotten to the point where there's been, maybe argument's the wrong word, but there's been disagreement. Let's do this. No, we want to do that. Or I think your character should do that. Where there hasn't been that disagreement. Now, sometimes that's fun to play with, right? If you're doing it in game and playing that, where, okay, let's go right, let's go left. That's one thing, right? But us saying, well, I would think Smokey would do this, and you guys would say, well, no, that really doesn't seem like it. Or, the way you're playing Huxley, if me and Kurt just went, yeah, that doesn't feel right, you doing that. We haven't got into anything like that, which is always that's no fun to do when you're arguing about this is my freaking character, this is what I think it would do, and other people are saying, yeah, no, I don't think so. No, I think it's all gone really well.
I mean, we've played. I mean, I've games with Jesse now for it'll be 10 years in February. Like not counting like forum games and shit, like 10 years. And Kevin and Kurt now, since the podcast started. So, 2015, 16. So like, we've been playing games for 7 years or whatever. Fuck, I play a ton of games with Kurt.
Right.
Between generic fantasy and core noir and like our games on the Legends channel or whatever. So like it's we've got a pretty good flow, right? Everybody plays really well off each other, and I don't feel like we've ever had any sort of situations Kevin, like you're talking about, like that doesn't feel right. I will sometimes say like I don't know, like this doesn't, like I'm losing the thread here. I don't know what where I should be or what I should be doing. But I don't feel like we've like, because we don't like ever meta game or anything. You know what I mean? Like it's all pretty straight, and like again we play games together forever. So everybody kind of knows where everybody's running at.
Well, yeah, and I think we do a good job of saying, okay, when we start, this is my character, this is what I'm feeling for the character, and none of us are going to come Bigfoot in and try to change that, right? If you're like, okay, I want this character to be the gung ho out front ass kicker, or I want this character to be, the stay on the sidelines, kind of thing. It's not like any of us are going to say, well, no, we're going to. The stuff that Huxley's had to do is because that's what roles have done, right? It hasn't been you're like, okay, well, shit, that happened. Now, how am I going to play that, right? It's not the character you had in mind, but you're playing that character as you would want that when shit happens, kind of thing, right? And nothing feels forced or like shoehorned in, right? If you roll a 6 on it, then there's really not much you can do, right? So you got to roll with it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think the way the way you said you were going to play it and the way you are playing it out after that, I think it fits perfectly in with, you're not all of a sudden a completely different character than what you had before. So
yeah, it's been fun because it's not the usual kind of character that I play. So like it's been different.
Yeah, and I feel like the way we play and stuff like that, as far as like running this play test now, whatever, I feel like because we're so used to each other and we know how to communicate well and like try to get through things, and it's not just, oh, we're just playing a game. Like we're literally like, okay, but what about this? And like communicating to Jesse, like some of the things that work, some that don't work, some that maybe need to be,
You're building it out. Man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, it's actually helping Jesse get to this point where he can make this, Encyclopedia Britannica version of this game, so then he's like, oh, I've got all these things now I can pull out and I can make it into this tighter thing.
Change stuff up or tweak it. Yeah.
No, I think in terms of character wise too, one of the great things is because we've all played with each other for so long, like we trust each other. Right. So like we know we're, like you said, Kevin, we're not going to metagame it. Like we're not going to do something the character wouldn't to get out of trouble or to get out of a bad situation. Yeah. Like, if anything, you guys will actually do something that your character that will get you into trouble.
Because it's a better storyline than just going, oh, I just shoot the guy, or I just say the one thing,
Yeah, for sure. Cool. I do have Go ahead. Go ahead. No, you go.
No, I was just saying it's the one thing that I'm struggling with is like this part of the breakdown of like figuring out what worked, what didn't work, like, and the actual playtest part of it, right? Like getting, because like I can be like, okay, well, going like it during the runs, like there's supposed to be all these things that happen, and I'm not really doing some of them because I'm just like, I'm in like a subconscious mode of like running the game and making it interesting, as opposed to like going into story mode, which I'm used to doing because that's how you run games, as opposed to playtest where I'm like, I really want to hit these mechanical things to make sure they work or not.
Yeah.
So,
well, you have an advantage, and this is something that I would give for you for advice is I would talk to John and just be like, just give me that audio, and then just little by little take chunks of it and really listen back on it and just be like, oh, I did this. Oh, I didn't do this. Oh, that's a good idea. Because when we edit things, like, I'm just speaking for myself, but I think John does this too. When you're playing a game that you run or that you're in, and you're editing what's happening, you notice all these nuances. Because again, like you said, when you're running the game and you're playing a game, you're not thinking too much of all the things. And sometimes even when you are, you're like, shit, I forgot about that. Oh, dumb. Why did I forget that? You know? But then when you're listening to it back, then you're like, okay, well, now I can just like, you write a note like, okay, make sure you do that. Make sure you do this, and it really helps.
Yeah.
And I feel like part of the problem too is like, we're going to have a good time regardless of what's happening. So then it's hard to parse out, like, did this work or not? Like, I don't know. It was fun.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't think we've gotten to a point. No. So obviously we've stopped the play to check stuff or get confirmation. But as Kurt said, that's kind of part and parcel of playing, right? Especially if it's something new or we're trying to test out these things. I don't think we've gotten to something where we've been like befuddled by it or it didn't make sense, right? Or we've said, okay, no, that doesn't seem, we've said, okay, well, if it's this, what do we do? And then, like we were saying about the damage and radiation, because it's just not in the front of our head. I don't think we've gotten to something where you've mechanically wrote it out and we've done it and it just felt clunky or didn't make sense, right? So I think, I
core,
think,
right? Like smallest possible scale, KISS principle, lean into the narrativeness of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think that's, obviously for you running it, it's a bit hard because you're trying to do all those other things. But really, I can't think of anything where I've been like, that we've bogged down for 10 minutes because we were trying to do something and it just didn't work or it didn't work. The roles wouldn't make it work, kind of thing. So, and I think also core gives you the out of the, the yes, no, and but does help you get out of some of that stuff, right? If you're but I don't think there's anything we've got to where we're like, okay, well, we've got to get over this wall, and there's literally no way. Like Cthulhu games, right? If you roll and no one sees the clue, then you're kind of screwed. Then you're not going to get that clue, and that's why people started creating other systems where you spend to get the clue or anything like that. I think the core rules work around that, but I honestly don't think we've done anything yet where we've had to fudge it because it didn't work the way you planned it to work, kind of thing. So
yeah.
And I mean, there are some parts of the system, like prepping for the run, right? That is supposed to be kind of a bogged down version. It's that point where you really have to kind of like stop, think, and assess the situation. So it's one of the few times, but it's almost written in that way where you're supposed to, just like you guys did, right? Like, well, shit, okay, where's the capacity? How can we split this up? Will we make it? It's supposed to be one of those moments where like you're looking at it and you're really kind of deciding like if it's worth it. Can I make it? Like, is it, if if you didn't have the capacity and it was going to slow you guys down a little bit, like, can I take an extra couple of radiation damage? Like, is turning this into a 9-hour travel instead of 7-hour worth it? You know? So it's, it's that part is supposed to kind of be purposefully like that.
It's part of what you want the game to be. It's not that it's breaking down, in any other game where you're like, okay, we're kind of stuck. How are we going to work this out? This is a game where you want to have all that stuff mapped out, because if you don't, you're either the job's going to fail or you're going to die, kind of thing. So
right, yeah. And that's one of the reasons too. I want to make that easier to do. Just so it's easier to communicate between everybody. Right. It's not so much that that's not how I want it to work. I want it to be easier to decide on and easier for everybody to talk about it. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't necessarily, I want to refine it, not change it, if that makes sense.
Right. Tweak it.
Yeah.
Goose it a little bit.
Yep.
So in core and basic core, you can trade XP for megas, or whatever your money unit is at a 1-for-1. So like in this case it would be rep. And I guess it comes down to the narrative component of it. Is that a scene then where you're like, oh well, Huxley currently has 1 rep. It's like, well, maybe we get 2, I got 2 yes ends or whatever tonight. So say I wound up in this whole session with 3 XP. It's like, well, when we get back, then is that a scene where information is provided or some services provided where like that XP then is transferred into rep because you've I told somebody about the porcupines or the tram, that the thing is working because we fucking juiced it or whatever, is because it shouldn't just be right. Like, oh, well, I'm going to take these 3 XP and I have 3 rep now. And I put like the super duper filters on my thing. So I never get radiation again. Cause that seems like it's kind of power gamey, I guess, but also kind of like there needs to be some device to do that.
Well, so I think, this is actually one of the reasons I like it being powered by and not for use with, is because I can choose. So like, if it was just for use with, like you're referencing the original rules,
right?
And like buying wealth is in the core rules, right? So it's kind of assumed that it'll be part of the game. Then I don't have that in the runner's rules.
Oh, okay.
Mainly because I'm looking at this in a very kind of like cyberpunk way of, and not like cyberpunk like 2077 with Keanu Reeves, not like that kind of thing, but like in terms of like it's hard, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I want rep to really have a meaning and it to be something that's hard to get, and when you have some of it, it means a lot.
Right.
So to just be able to buy it whenever you want is, and I mean, to what extent? To like, I think it makes the game a little too easy.
Because the suit is the thing that's important, right? So like it should be hard to acquire that to make you gradual upgrade of the suit mean something, like you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, just think of it too, like what you guys probably have like 10 or 12 experience right now, right?
Oh, I don't
somewhere around.
know.
So I mean, if you were to be able to just buy rep with that, right? think of Smokey and Zuchy right now. Like, they'd just be able to go out, get 6 blue caps, and call it a day.
Right.
So I think it really takes that aspect of the game away. So because of that,
I guess not everybody would do it though. I don't know, right? Like it's a design question, right? Like I could see.
Oh yeah.
That some
I mean, it does mean like,
yeah.
okay, if you do that, then you don't have. But I mean, you're also compounding that with the rep that you get during the mission, right? So, you know, if you do a higher end mission where you're getting like 7 to 10 rep at the end of it, split that up between 3 people. And then on top of that, everybody got like an additional like 7 to 10 experience during the run, you know, so you're coming out of a run with the potential, if you transfer all your XP into rep, like you're coming out of a run with, you know, 12 to 15 rep.
You don't have to run anymore.
Right.
Like you're set now.
Yep.
So then I wonder then what is it for most people that live in I want to say in arcology, but you know, in a place, in a not in a scrub. Well, in a scrub too, I guess.
In a null zone.
In a null zone. Is it strictly just like a barter system? Like, I mean, I guess it would depend on the scrub, right? Or the
it does,
zone.
Yeah. So I have it. It's something that I kind of hint at, but also kind of cast off because it's nothing a runner really has to worry about. But yeah, it really all, you know, they could use coins. It could be, you know, that they trade, you know, so it could be barter, it could be a money system, it could be a complete, you know, anarchist paradise where nobody has money and they just, you know, everybody shares everything. Like it all depends. So, but runners don't have to worry about that because they're, you know, a part, like the actuator that you have to buy for your suit, like a normal person would have to spend like a year's worth their savings to afford. and you're buying it after running for, you know, 8 hours.
So then theoretically, like most people are using, you know, small M money unit and runners are using big M money unit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Essentially. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you know, it's like in day trippers, right? Like, you know, we deal in wealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have 3 wealth. Well, that means I have $300,000.
Right.
Like,
but a burger also costs like $1,000 or whatever.
Well, true, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it's just assumed then that you know, at some level, because we don't count coins, that like if you have 3 rep, then like you can afford to live in the place that you're in, and like you can buy food and like
exactly, yeah,
do the things. Yeah. Okay.
Because ultimately, too, that's not what we're concerned about. Right. I'm not concerned about you being able to afford a meal or afford a beer or buy clothes. Like that's not what the game's about. So I don't care. Right.
Yeah.
So now if that is what you want to make your game about, fine. Like you can add a little draw in a little box on your character sheet and start tracking money. Like you can do it. I'm just not gonna push that.
No, and I don't. In almost every game ever, like it just has never mattered.
Exactly. Yeah. Like even in the games that I've played D&D, right, where you know you're counting pennies almost, you know, like literally, right? Once you have 5 gold, like
it no longer
doesn't
matters.
Matter.
You could buy the village now.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I have a I had a character that was level 6 and I had 200 gold. Like I have everything I'd ever want at that point. Like it doesn't matter. So
you've already destroyed the local economy.
right. And me going in and just callously throwing a gold coin at the bartender, I have now given him as much money as he will ever make in a year. So
yeah, well, I don't know about that. He's got a good in. He's be pulling in some.
But yeah. So I don't worry about that.
Okay. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. Like I said, if you could do it narratively, I also see that as well. But it'd have to be real specific things, right? And it wouldn't be. You couldn't just turn around and be like, oh, this guy bought a secret from me for 27 XP.
Right.
Right, but that's also kind of on the GM too and the players to like hash that out, right? Like, yeah, you could do this. At most, you're going to get like 1. Right. Because it's only worth something to the right person anyway. Yep.
Oh, that's why too, I want, I talk especially like in the intel section of, it's not always about money, right?
Yeah.
Like Smokey right now, he owes Marla a favor. Like, if anything, that's better story-wise than, I spent a rep or I spent 5 XP. Like,
yeah, for sure.
So that's why in the book I talk more about like trading favors, going into debt, like stuff like that. That's more long term than just throwing money at a problem.
Yeah. Very good story fodder.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is what we're all here for.
Yeah.
In theory.
Cool.
Oh, but yeah. No, I'm looking for not next session, but the session after that. It's going to be slow, unfortunately, because I think we are going to do a lot of like mechanics talk, which I'm not looking forward to. Because I tried to hide the mechanics as much as possible. Right? Like that's what you do when you play. Like that's what we like to do when we play. Like we don't like to roll a lot, and when we do roll, we like to make it nice and quick.
Right.
So like doing this, like actually purposely, like stopping and looking and assessing the mechanics is tough because it's the exact opposite of what I usually try to do.
Yeah, no, I mean I get that, but I feel like for something new like this, when something like because obviously the core works, right? So like we don't really have to talk about any of that. But then if you add something new, at least the first time when we do it, I kind of feel like maybe we should point it out, like, this is how this is going to work. And maybe we don't have to break down every power roll then, but like, hey, when you guys roll power, we're going to roll these dice. If you're going to lose, blah, 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 and then this is your new pool, and then we roll again when the next thing happens, right? Like, it can be fairly quick.
Oh, yeah.
But just to point out what's happening. If people are like,
absolutely, yeah.
Well, I have micro. It doesn't say anything about this. What the fuck are you doing? Like,
right?
What is this?
No, it doesn't. It just goes against my nature. Is all.
Yeah, so, no, I get it.
It's tough.
I mean, we do role play like every minute of the day, so
right.
I'm gonna jump off. I'll talk to you guys later in the week.
All right.
Yes.
Take it easy, Kevin.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
Have a good one, guys.
Yep, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Should we jump out, or did we kick?
Yeah, I think we've run this post show
into the ground
to submission at this point.
All right. Cool. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
Hey, go to the Discord. Do that too.
Oh yeah, go to this.
You can tell me how horrible I am at designing games.
Hey, you've got a couple out already, so it can't be terrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Go core.
Yeah, at least we know core works.
It's just our shitty writing.
Oh,
All right.
bye, people.